I'm in love with a toxic person. This girl I met about a year ago, and I really, really like her. And it's about time I admit that. I keep trying to tell myself that I don't like her and she's not good for me, but I think I can't deny that I like her, and I don't know if that's the problem. We met at a party and she approached me. We went on a couple dates after, and it was great, until she dropped me for someone else. I was hurt, and it took a long time to get over her. 6 months later, they break up, and she starts talking to me again. I like the attention, and I return it, just for her to completely ghost me out of the blue for no reason. All of a sudden, 6 more months later, she comes back and leads me on again, just for her to completely drop me. I hate the way she makes me feel, but man, I really like her. But I'm more worried about how she's going to affect me in the future. Let's say we finally do go out together. What's to say she won't do what she's already done before? But I know that if she asked me, I couldn't refuse, and that's what scares me the most. Peas. This is not a self-esteem issue, I don't think at least. I'm relatively confident, and it's not like she's the only girl to ever give me attention. There's just something about her. Wife cheated with a woman. My wife got drunk one night some months ago and said she kissed one of her coworkers. It was a girl. I was pissed but actually turned on at the same time. She claims all they did was kiss, and that was it because they were drunk. I forgave her but kinda still don't believe she told me the full story. I feel like they've been messing around for a while and there's more to it. I also have her a pass because I was flirting with women through text and also sending them money, so karma I felt like basically. It does turn me on, but it still pisses me off sometimes, and I kind of want her to explore a woman.
How can I tell her? I have been married to my wife for 8 years. It's probably been 12 years since I've been with a man. That being said, it's all I can think about lately. I don't know how to bring this up to my wife, if I even should. I am hoping it will go away, but afraid of what I will do if the desire doesn't pass. My wife knows I have been with men and identity as bi. She has said in passing, more of a joke, just let me know, referring to if I wanted to be with a man for a night. I don't know that she would actually be okay with it. I don't even know if I'm okay with it. I found out my mom is having an affair with my dad's cousin. I, 21 female. Found out yesterday that my mom has been having an affair with my dad's cousin. Her Facebook was logged in on my phone, so I was about to remove her account when I saw text notification from my dad's cousin. I know they have friendly relations, so at first I didn't think anything, but it felt off. So I opened the chat. Then there it was. My mom has been meeting him and going out with him whenever she goes out at morning to jog and exercise, which is almost every day. My whole world came crashing down at that moment. I couldn't see much. As it turns out, my mom deletes chats after finishing the conversation every single time. But it was clear it wasn't just a friendly conversation. The thing is, my dad is violent and very controlling. He used to hit my mom ever since I was small, and he had affairs too. I come from a very conservative society, so they ended up just staying together for the kids, and my mom depends upon my dad, so she couldn't leave, and moving out after turning 18 isn't normal here, so I've always felt stuck in this house. My dad doesn't like my mom going out with friends or talking with people, so my mom has always felt unloved and controlled in this marriage. I told her multiple times to divorce him, but she says she can't cause she depends on my dad, and my brother is small. After finding out about her affair, I don't know what to do. I feel so betrayed and helpless. Their marriage has affected me a lot growing up, and I couldn't even tell them that I need professional help. But now I feel like my life just fell apart. I don't know if I should confront her and tell her to stop this, or just feign ignorance for the sake of my relationship with Mom. My brother is still so young, so I don't want to do something that ends up affecting him as well, but all this is just too much for me to handle now. I have no idea what is a right thing to do at this moment. So, should I confront her and tell her that I know about her affair, or just act like I know nothing? I'm having an affair with my friend. I gave him a BJ like over a week ago or something in a club bathroom, and I thought it would be the end of it since we were both intoxicated. And I'm in a 2+ year relationship, but the affair has continued. He messaged me on Instagram saying how much fun he had and everything, and since then we've hooked up 3 times in total. I feel absolutely horrible and awful about this because I hope to get married to my boyfriend one day. But he's been working a lot recently, and I've had a lot of free time, and instead of hanging out with my female friends, I've been hanging out with this guy. I don't plan to tell my boyfriend, but I definitely do plan to stop the affair. I've already started texting a long message to this guy explaining why we can't hook up anymore, and it's best we stop being friends too. Anything you guys think I should add to the text or say?
I framed a kid. I was dating this woman who had a kid. Mind you, I don't mind children, but he was being an absolute little turd to me all day. So we get him to bed and she lets me sleep in since I didn't have to be at work for a few more hours. Then I ate all of his fruit by the foot, but stashed all the wrappers and box under his bed. She asked me that night if I ate all of his candy, and I said no, but I saw him eating one before bed, and she grounded the heck out of him. Courtney, if you see this, well, sorry. Feels good to get this off my chest. I accidentally got in the shower with my mother-in-law. Dear Reddit, me and my wife have been living together for almost 4 years now. I travel a lot for work, and when I get home after a week of traveling, me and my wife can't keep our hand of each other. When I landed at the airport and got off the plane, I let my wife know I'm on my way, and in her naughty voice, she replied with, "He'll be waiting for you." Now, for the next part, some context need to be given. My wife will sometimes pretend to not hear me so I can grab her and pick her up. It's a game we play, and now that I typed it, I hear how dangerous it actually is. Both my wife and mother-in-law always blast music while they are in the shower, and usually my wife lets me know when we have guests. But my mother-in-law had a problem with her water pipes, and because she lives just a few blocks away, she quickly came for a shower. As I got home, I heard the loud music coming from the bathroom. I immediately got aroused and made my way to the bathroom, undressing like a horny teen, leaving my clothes all over the place. I slowly opened up the shower door, and as I did it, my mother-in-law turned around. I immediately apologized and ran out butt naked as she continued to scream at me. My wife heard the screaming and came out of her room to watch. She put one and one together and broke down laughing. I don't know what to do. My mother-in-law left without saying anything to me and I can't even sleep. My sister doesn't believe men can be raped. It really pisses me off that she thinks a man cannot be raped by a woman because they're a man and should be able to defend themselves. She mockingly asked if I had been date raped by a woman, and I said no. I have been taken advantage of while drunk but not raped. I'm just shocked that she believes this. Not all men can stand up for themselves and say no to things they don't want.
I'm lying to my husband by omission. I love to write and usually write my own stuff. My husband knows this. I had a long writer's block, so I hadn't written anything in a while. One day he saw me on the laptop and asked what I was doing, and I told him I was writing. He asked if he could read it, and I panicked and said, "Not till I finish." Which, in all fairness, I usually don't let people read until I have a good portion in case I run out of steam and never finish. I just wasn't able to tell him I'm actually writing a Red Dead Redemption fanfic. Every so often he will see me writing and ask when I'll be done, so he can read it, and I'll tell him soon, and when I'm finished, but there's no way I can ever let him read it, or even tell him it's actually a freaking fanfic. It's too horrifying. I even have to come up with vague and obscure details when he asks what it's about. I'll probably just tell him I never finished it if he asks after I'm done writing. I honestly feel guilty and so silly every time he asks. Feeling a different kind of hopeless. I've been married less than a year and known my husband for over a decade. Just found out that before and during our marriage, he would post on other subreddits that he fantasizes about being intimate with my stepsister, my friends, etc. What's even worse is I've had no contact with my mom and my stepfamily for a while. I've had issues specifically with my stepsister, and my mom always compared me to her growing up. My mom was and still is very disappointed that I'm not like my stepsister, and other guys I've been interested in before being with my husband all had more interest in her than me. So it's like, I already feel less than her so much. But now I just feel so ugly and so stupid. I've been trying to be happy and live a happy life since I was a young teen, and I really felt like I accomplished my goal by marrying my husband and going to school in a field I actually care about. But now it's like, I can't believe I was so delusional to believe that I could be happy with other people. I've always been happiest alone, and now I actually have no one. My friends are there for me, but all of them are in their early 20s, while I'm in my mid-20s. Plus, none of them really know what it's like to go no contact with your family, then have the rug pulled out from under you by someone you thought you knew for over a decade. I feel really hopeless. People don't change. I feel like only circumstances do. I feel like I'm doomed to feel miserable forever. My boyfriend goes on frequent breaks. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 8 months now. Today was our 8th month anniversary. Everything was good the whole day, or maybe not. Maybe I did not understand. So we talked. I'm kind of sick today. He wanted to get intimate. I refused. So after talking for a little bit, we came back to our homes. We live separately. He texted me after getting home that, "It's been too many days. Let's take a break for 15 to 20 days. LOL. He said a bye and disappeared. There was another break of a week before this, and it was at the 1-month mark. I don't know why he keeps taking breaks. Phew.
The washing machine in my apartment had been struggling for the past few weeks. Yesterday it died on me. Here's what I did. I need a washing machine, so I looked on Facebook Marketplace and found a decent one for a reasonable price. Only trouble is, I don't have a car big enough to fit it in. What to do? There's a car dealership 15 minutes from where I live, so I walked in and saw a truck that would easily hold the machine comfortably. I asked if I could take it for a test drive, filled out a form, picked up my buddy Frank, and boom, I had the means to grab what I needed, and an hour later, I had the washing machine in my house all fitted in. Took the truck back to the dealership and asked if I could mull the decision over. I feel like I've hacked the system.
Social media is making me depressed. First of all, I'm addicted to my phone. I pick up my phone without consciously knowing, and I'm scrolling through my apps. Heading speaks for itself. It's making me depressed. I'm spending far too much time on it. I feel like I stalk people too much. I'm comparing myself too much, and all in all, it's making me feel so lousy. I'm comparing myself to people, and I hate that I do that. Because in real life, I don't. But behind my screen, I do. I'm an attractive girl. I'm fit, and I relatively have my 31-year-old life together. But social media makes me feel ugly, fat, and not have my life together. I feel like deleting it, but then I feel like I'd be so out of the loop with friends and life. I'm at a standstill. Suggestions?
I think my wife has mental illness. My wife has been acting more erratic lately. She's already on a pile of pills for everything from pain management to anxiety. Today, we were at a festival. She said she was going to a couple of booths and she'd be back soon. She was gone for 90 minutes. When she returned, she talked about helping a woman whose husband wouldn't let her dance. Shortly after, I wanted to go home. There were Mexican dancers performing. She said she couldn't leave because she's been waiting for a year to see them. The festival is a 15-minute walk from our house. She said she'd walk home. I said okay, but she had her phone and she could call if she needed to. She walked home. After she got home, she made a salad with cottage cheese and left it in the dishes strainer. When I asked her about it, she denied knowing anything. She went to bed. I went to the kitchen later and found she had left the hot water running all over the sink or counter. When I came to bed, I found a box of ice cream sandwiches in the bed, with some open, melted into the bedding. She denied knowing anything. I admit, I yelled about that. After that, she started ranting about how I left her to walk alone, and how could I do that? She's still repeating that. She's in the other room, just ranting about what a victim she is. I'm honestly afraid she's going to do something like leave the gas on in the kitchen. She seems detached from any cause or effect.
My husband has never called me pretty. My husband of 7 years, together 10, has never outright said I looked nice or attractive. I have asked him to at least say it when I asked if I got all dressed up. He is not. He actually ended up calling me insecure. I do not think I am. I know I'm pretty, but it would be nice to be told he finds me attractive as he married me. I am sad and angry. He think I'm just throwing a tantrum, but it really hurt my feelings. My wife cheated on me. My wife, 26 female, cheated on me. 28 female, for 8 months. We were renting a room, I found out, and packed up all my things after finding out she was still in contact with that girl and left same day. It's been a week. She's been telling me to come home, and I told her I need a couple months apart to see if things change or think. She told me today to either come home today or we can divorce. I do love her, but I'm hurt, and she's not willing to work through these things for a couple months. I'm too upset to decide to come home and sleep next to her every night, or I'm too upset to think if I don't come home today, we are getting a divorce. I feel like my mind isn't in the right headspace to make this kind of decision. Husband lost his temper, threw phone, and it hit me. Just need somewhere to put this. He loses his temper all the time, it's nothing new. Throwing things is also not new. His phone, the TV remote, PlayStation controller, whatever is nearby. But this is the first time an object hit me. He threw his phone at the couch where I was laying and it hit my foot. He didn't mean to hit me, specifically, but he did mean to throw the phone. Is this what people talk about with abusive behaviors escalating? Does this count as abuse? He didn't mean to hurt me, but it did hurt. He apologized a couple minutes later. I told him it was fine. Is it really fine, though? I found out I'm his mistress. So my ex, male 32, and I, female 30, were friends with benefits post-breakup. We tried breaking it off, but we always ended up back together just to hook up. Fast forward to a couple days ago, I heard that he slipped into a coma due to a seizure. I acted fast and attempted to visit him in the hospital, but I was advised not to by a couple of his friends. I had to know why, and they said that my ex's girlfriend will be there. They met 4 months ago, and presumably dating since. We've been hooking up for 5 months. I'm devastated and conflicted. I am wishing him a speedy and calm recovery, but I feel betrayed. I clearly have to break it off. This is going to be hard to let go. My baby daddy tried to unalive me. For reference, I'm a 20-year-old female, and I'm using a throwaway account. My baby daddy has a history of physically, verbally, and mentally abusing me. I honestly think he's a psychopath or sociopath. He is literally so mean to me, but it's so hard for me to stop talking to him. He has put me through so much, things nobody should have to put up with. But it's been so hard for me to stop talking to him, even after everything. I have a court-ordered restraining order on him, so we weren't even supposed to be communicating. The people closest to me don't even know I was talking to him. Anyways, it was like 11 p.m. last night, and I was in the car with my baby daddy. Our baby was with my parents. We got into a huge argument, and while he's driving, he starts threatening to unalive me. He literally said to me, "Are you ready to die?" So we're on the highway, and he starts speeding, going around 140 miles per hour. I'm not being dramatic. He switches lanes and starts going towards those concrete things on the highway, like a guardrail, but it was concrete and tall, to try to crash into it and unalive us. Before we were about to hit the wall, he swerved away from it. Then we were about to hit a semi, so he swerves again and completely loses control of his car. Then we crashed into the concrete wall. His car is totaled. We both are fine, even though my neck is stiff and I have severe back pain. It's honestly insane that we're both still alive. But he literally tried to unalive me. He's now blocked on everything, but part of me already misses him. What is wrong with me? Why do I miss someone who literally tried to unalive me? Not to mention all the other stuff he's done to me. He even admitted he tried to end my life when we talked about the accident. He was very apologetic after it happened, but still I don't know what to do. This isn't someone I want my son growing up around. It's not someone I want to be around, but yet I still crave to be around him. It is so hard to break a trauma bond. I think my boyfriend still hasn't not moved on from his ex. My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 to 7 months, but around 5 months ago, I found out he had an ex. I confronted him, and he said that he has moved on from her. I didn't think anything of it at the time and decided to ignore it. He still had contact with her in secret, but whenever I asked if he had contact with her, he would say that he didn't. I trusted him, but 3 months ago, I caught them texting each other, and texts were quite romantic, I would say. I confronted him for lying to me, as I felt hurt to be kept in the dark, but he accused me for not trusting him. After that, whenever I would ask him about her, he would try to change the topic. My best friend thinks I am overreacting. Even though he reassured me that he loves me, I just can't seem to believe him. As you see, I have a past of being betrayed by my most trusted people. I feel stuck, and don't know if I should believe him or not.
I slept with my best friend's sister. A couple months ago, I, 22 male, ruined my friendship with my best friend, 21 male of 5 years. I was out at a bar and I happened to bump into his older sister. She's 1 year older than me and 2 years older than him. Interestingly enough, I had never really found her all that attractive. She's a pretty girl, but I never once had considered her someone I would sleep with. I'm sure alcohol had some effect, but I remember not being entirely drunk that night. I don't really know what I was thinking, as today, I would do anything to have that moment back. He's been my best friend since senior year of high school. Some people who I felt would tell him had found out. His sister told a couple people. Instead of another way, I called him and told him myself. I feel awful for what I did and still haven't really coped with it. He hasn't spoken to me since, and a couple weeks ago he sent me an Instagram post basically calling me a hoe. I don't resent him for it. I completely understand his anger. The thought that I am a bad person has been frequent. I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I haven't really told anyone about it yet. My parents and other friends will mention him from time to time, and I never really know what to say. My dad would be so disappointed in me. I am disappointed in me. They say to not let past mistakes determine your future, but I fear no matter what I do, I'll never forgive myself for this. I'm terrified that those close to me wouldn't be if they knew this, and I'm terrified that anyone I meet would wish they hadn't.
My husband is emotionally abusive. I see it now. There's nothing I can do. Today I accepted it. I might be getting a large settlement of money. I wanted to talk about it. That was stupid because I don't even know if it's happening, so why even talk about it? Then I said I don't want to just put the money into our joint checking account. I want to put it into a high-yield savings account. That was stupid too. My husband has threatened to divorce me multiple times in the last 2 months. I'm retired and can't work anymore due to a serious health issue. Why would I want to just hand over the money? When I said that I went through terrible things in order to be potentially awarded this money, it didn't matter. The house is his. He paid for more of it. I didn't contribute. The business that he started, that is running us into financial ruin, I don't respect. Today, I was told I had to stay home because I wasn't welcome to go to lunch with my husband and my son. My husband didn't want me around and said I wasn't welcome. Thank goodness my son isn't aware of most of this. I feel so trapped. Every day it's something else. Something I said that upset him. Something I think, which is dumb. A few months ago, I rejected a man. Yesterday, he got married with another woman. I was on vacations with a few friends, and they wanted to introduce me to a man. While we were in a restaurant, he came in with his friends. He came to greet my friends, and we introduced each other. They told me from the beginning that he was looking for marriage, and as much as I thought he was nice and handsome, I didn't want to talk to him for 2 reasons. 1. Lack of self-esteem. 2. I had been talking to another man for a few months, and it didn't feel right to talk to other men. Fast forward to now, he's getting married. To another woman, who by the way looks similar to me, she a little bit thinner, but other than that, we do look similar. And meanwhile, I'm still talking with this other man. It's been more than a year of talking with no dates. I blocked him. I deeply regret saying no to that person. He is handsome, nice, has a good job, and makes good money, religious. I'm 25, and I never had a real relationship. I've been wasting my time for nothing, and letting my insecurities ruin so many opportunities to meet people and live experiences. Do you ever just play dumb because playing dumb is easier than having to explain yourself to less intelligent people that you have to interact with on an everyday basis? It's like some people just refuse to acknowledge that they're wrong and playing dumb. Going along with whatever they're saying is easier than trying to get them to comprehend that what they said is wrong or irrelevant.
I can't believe I said this on the first date. I went on a first date with a girl, and we did a sauna followed by a cold plunge. Things were getting really steamy, no pun intended. We were making out, feeling up each other, etc. I was really attracted to her physically, but wasn't sure if I really liked her just yet. In between kisses, she asked me, how much was this $100? My response was, no, $50. You're cute, but not that cute. I was not even thinking when I said it, it just came out. She was obviously offended and told me that was rude, and went cold for like the next 10 minutes. I apologized and said what I meant was that I probably wouldn't spend that much on anyone for a first date, since it is just more of a get to know you. We got back on track and the conversation started flowing again. When the date ended, she said she liked me and we kissed goodbye. It was a long kiss, and said that we would see each other again. It seems like I will live to see another day with this girl. Regardless, I am kicking myself for saying that. Once I left, I remembered that I had recently taken another girl on an expensive date, and she totally abused it. She ordered extra drinks and the most expensive entree and didn't even follow up after the date, even though she told me she would. I realized I was still mad about it and somehow transferred it onto the new girl. Regardless, it wasn't what I intended to say. Should I explain this to her on our next date if we have one? Thoughts? Job wants to fire me for financial reasons. Today, at work, we decided to get a remote access software for my boss's computer since the admin staff, me primarily, enters all of the data for reports he's writing, and I work in a different location. Everything gets installed, and he gives me access to his computer so that I can get started, and he leaves for the day. The thing is, he left his email up and open on his screen, and there is an email between him and his business partner talking about their breakdown pay grids, and I see my name. In the email, they talk about cutting my position, as they don't think it's worth the cost of my wages to keep me on versus what they are currently bringing in. I've worked here for going on 3 years now, and they talked me into coming to work for them, leaving my previous job. I don't know what I'll do. I have to pretend like I didn't see the email, obviously, but job prospects in my area are very limited, and I'm an otherwise uneducated, high school grad only, 40-plus-year-old person with a moderate amount of debt. The amount of stress I'm carrying right now is terrifying. Veteran can't let go. I am a soldier. I can't say I used to be. The soldier status is forever. A few years back, I was released from reserve duty. Once a specialist, now just an old man. I felt a little broken, and it took some time to digest. A few months ago, I got a call from my unit. They asked if I could volunteer. I did. I'm 40. Got a family who needs me. Good career. It made no sense stepping into a war zone when you don't have to. I couldn't pass. Gearing up, running up the hills, doing something significant when your country's at war was meaningful for me. I did it for my family and my people, but felt so selfish at the same time. A month has passed since I've been back home, but my head is still there. I keep thinking of going back there despite the risk. I'm torn between my life and the Army. They are just two parallel realities, and I live in both. I don't know how to stop.
I met a guy for the first time today that I had messaged for a few days. I really like him. We've been Snapchatting and sending snaps since then. I want to maybe ask him if he wants to come over to my place and watch a movie with me this coming up week. But I'm worried if that's going too far. I don't want him to think I'm desperate or that I'm head over heels obsessed. I just want to be able to spend more time with him to get to know him better. So I get an idea rolling if this could be something that works out into a real relationship. I don't know what to do. Caught between friendship and feelings. I had to confess my love to my best friend because he got mad when I grew close to another guy, thinking I was replacing him. He said we have religious differences, and even if he liked me, it wouldn't work out. He promised to always protect and care for me, saying I'm his biggest priority, and sharing my feelings gives him relief. But he added, "You're a sweet person. I wish I could love you back." Lately, I feel he wants to go back to his ex, though she may not want him. It hurts because he used to post songs about me, but now posts about her. He also gives me mixed signals, like holding my hand and putting his arm around my waist, yet says we're just best friends. It's confusing, especially since he and others react strongly when seeing a guy and a girl hold hands, as if it's more than just friendship. I don't understand what to do in this situation, because I don't want to lose the friendship. He is my best friend. So I've been going out with this guy for about a month now. We're taking it really slow, we're not official or anything. I want to make sure I'm upfront with him about being friends with my ex before this guy, and I become official. For context, I'm bi, and I'm friends with my ex-girlfriend. Let's call her Angela, so it doesn't get confusing later. We only dated for a few months, and that was 4 years ago. She also lives across the country. Angela and I are best friends, though. We text every day and talk almost every week. She's one of the 2 relationships I've been in, so it is significant in the grand scheme of my relationship history. I've been in a relationship since dating Angela, and I told my other ex, let's call her Brooke, about Angela prior to Brooke and I being official. I was telling Brooke how I was planning on visiting Angela in a few months, and I said, "Oh, Angela's my ex, just so you know." It was really simple, but for some reason, it seems more difficult to lead into it with the guy I'm talking to, because I feel like it's difficult to bring it up casually, as the only way I can think of doing it is the way I did it with my previous ex. And I don't have any trips to visit Angela anytime soon. To clarify, I'm only friends with Angela, not Brooke. Angela is the only ex I have to tell this guy that I'm friends with. Does anyone have any tips to bring it up casually?
Girlfriend has Tinder. Hey guys, so me, male 24, and my girlfriend, female 27, have been in a relationship for 1 year. Yesterday, I found out from a friend that she has Tinder. She's been posting pictures there, which I took of her, and is still active. I confronted her, and first she asked me angrily, how do I know, and who told me this? After a while, she explained that it would be just Tinder, and she's just using it to get more followers on Instagram, but also likes the fact that many men find her attractive and compliment her. She promised me that she never met anyone there or is talking to someone else. She has sent me the chats, but that doesn't prove anything because she could have just deleted some. Afterwards, she said she deleted her account but just paused it. I just don't know what to believe. I feel like it's the right choice to move on and break up with her, so it would really be helpful to get some advice, rather I'm overreacting, or it is the right choice to make.
My boyfriend spit in my face. We were both drunk. Outside, I, female 27, was kinda squatting leaning against a fence, and he, male 29, was standing over me facing the fence. I felt something wet on my face and realized he just spat on me. For no reason. So I say WTF, and he does it again. So I get up and hit him in the face. He does it back. I do it again, and he's like, okay, square up. At this point, a bunch of people intervene and calm us both down. Then, he kinda pinned me between him and the fence. He didn't do anything else, but he wouldn't let me out. Some French guy came and told him to back off. He did, and I grabbed a cab and went home. Obviously, this is toxic all around, and I shouldn't have hit him. But like if someone spits in your face, you kinda gotta hit them, I think. Either way, I'm too old for these shenanigans. Edit to clarify. I hit him, then he hit me, and I hit him again. He also didn't hit me very hard. Edit again. This was all last night. My boyfriend has dumped me 3 times, and I still want him. My boyfriend and I are in the avoidant anxious dance. First breakups were 2 weeks long, and we dated 6 months each time after. The past 6 months were amazing. He worked on showing affection to me, gave me $10,000 for debt, took me on dates, and tried much more than he did before. Randomly, 3 weeks after, he gave me the money to make me feel at ease. He breaks up with me when I try to bring up moving in together. He feels the pressure I put on the future is too great, despite dating almost 2 years. I'm so devastated, and it was another blindside as things were going so well.
Cheated on by my girlfriend. With the same guy, my ex. Cheated on me with, It's hard to put into words how I'm feeling right now, but I need to get this off my chest. My girlfriend cheated on me, and what makes it even more unbearable is that it was with the same guy my ex cheated on me with. It feels like some cruel joke the universe is playing on me, as if I'm caught in this endless cycle of betrayal. I trusted her completely, just like I did before. And to have my heart shattered in the same way, by the same person. It's devastating. It feels like a nightmare I can't wake up from, a wound that never gets a chance to heal. I keep asking myself what I did wrong, why this keeps happening, and if I somehow brought this on myself. But deep down, I know it's not my fault. It's just hard to believe that someone I loved and cared for could hurt me in exactly the same way as the last. I don't know where to go from here. I'm numb, angry, and heartbroken all over again. But writing this is a start, I guess, a way to let it out and maybe find some closure in time.
I caused an accident today and totaled my car. I've been driving for 11 years and have never even bumped someone else's car. Today, I was leaving the doctor's office and got onto the main road. I took my eyes off the road for literally no more than 3 seconds just to grab my water bottle out of my backpack, and when I looked back up, the car in front of me slammed their brake, and I wasn't able to stop in time. I rear-ended them, going about 30 miles per hour. Sure, it wasn't fast, but my airbag deployed, and the entire front of my vehicle is smashed in. Their car was completely fine, and they were not injured. They were actually really nice and hugged me a few times because I was hysterical. Emergency crews showed up and took statements and checked us all out, etc. I have a lot of bruising from the airbag and seatbelt, as well as a sore neck, but I'll be fine. I feel absolutely terrible. I have to buy a new car now. I'm a single mom. My kid wasn't in car with me, and I work so hard to save my money. I feel horrible for hitting them, as it probably could have been prevented had I not been so absent-minded. I've been dealing with a chronic medical condition that I've been losing a lot of sleep over. IDK, why I'm posting this here. Any kind words would be appreciated, as I'm really struggling emotionally right now. I'm getting back with my ex. I'm 23. He has been the only person to truly see me as such a pure being, to acknowledge all that I am and was for him. He still loves me, and I still love him. Together, we felt like home. He told me that there's no other woman like me, and that he'll fight hard to get me back, because his love for me is never ending. I feel the same way. I can't imagine any other man being so devoted, selfless, loyal, and tender towards me. He'd give me his last. I'd give him my all. All of my friends dislike him because of something he did. He does lack emotional maturity, but the love I felt with him was like no other. The men I meet today are nothing at all like him. They're all completely involved with multiple women, not ready for anything serious, don't see the qualities that I possess, or have some other trait. I always find myself comparing them to my ex, because he was just such an amazing lover. No one knows that I'm getting back with him, but I truly cannot see myself receiving a love like his from anyone else. It's already hard to date men these days, and it'll be even rarer to find one like him again. I don't think they exist. Husband, 25 male, said I, 24 female, am incompetent. I have been married to my husband for 6 years. Today, I had a flight get delayed 7 hours. I was traveling to meet him because he was working for the week in another state, and I would be spending the weekend with him. Then we'd go home together. I would only be there 2.5 days, and with the delay, it'd be more like 1.5 days. The flight got delayed 5 times, and changed gates once, so by the time the flight got delayed another 5 hours, after being delayed multiple short periods, I was beside myself. Also to add, I had already missed a day of work for this, and had just overheard someone in the bathroom vomiting badly. I have emetophobia, so I was anxious too. I was texting him about what was going on, and he called me. Once I started talking about it, I cried over the phone out of stress and anxiousness. He advised me that next time I should only travel with him. When we talked over the phone later, I told him that that was a judgmental thing to say, and that I was competent and had flown many times alone before, but that it was a long day, and I had a moment. He sarcastically said, "Sure, you're competent." When I asked what he meant by that, he said I was sobbing in an airport, and everybody has delays, and that I was not competent. That was hurtful to me, and now I feel judged by him. I wanted to make this post sort of to vent.
How do I tell my mom I'm going on a date? I'm a 20-year-old male. My mom is overprotective and always thinks the worst scenario will happen. I met this girl online and I asked her out, and we're planning to go Monday. We're keeping it very casual. Mall, thrift store, dinner. I haven't told my mom yet, but I know she doesn't like the idea of people going out with strangers. She wants me to already know them, either by being friends or working together. Right now, I don't want to date any friends or coworkers. At first, I was going to lie and say I was hanging out with a friend, but this makes it harder to tell her if the date goes well, and it becomes more serious afterwards. So now, I thought of telling her I met her at a Target while out with a few friends, and I got her Instagram. She'd still be a stranger, but I feel like meeting her at a store would seem slightly better than online to my mother. What should I do?
I wish my boyfriend would divorce his ex-wife already. Sometimes I get upset by this given the circumstances, but I have really no one to rant about this to, and I've been listening to a lot of Reddit lately, lol. I've been dating my boyfriend for a few years now. When we got together, he told me he was still married to his ex, and that they lived together, which I was okay with. He had no attraction to her anymore. She was abusive, and all she did was just take up space and eat food till she moved to live somewhere else. Over the last couple of years, I've mentioned how nice it would be to not have to be bothered by her, and he could just block her. She messages him about getting a divorce, but he had to pay, because she barely has money. And he ignores her, telling me if she wants one, she can pay for it, or she can wait until he can. We aren't planning to get married soon. I guess I'm okay with sitting and waiting, or even not getting married, because nowadays people just be together for years without marriage. All I say is, I'd save up for a divorce if I were him no matter what. That way I can just say, screw it, and she would never have to be in my life anymore. I wouldn't want to be tied to someone by marriage papers when I hate them. My boyfriend cried in front of me, and it made me feel weird and uncomfortable. My boyfriend was over at my house today, and I was feeling a bit upset, and cried, and he comforted me. A few hours later, he started feeling upset, because his uncle had just passed recently, and it was his first time experiencing a loss with near family. I lost my dad at 12, so I know what he's going through. But somehow I felt uncomfortable and weird when he was crying. I almost felt repulsed by it. IDK, what to do? I feel so horrible. I obviously had to hug him and comfort him. But IDK, why I felt that way? Usually when people cry around me, I don't feel anything. I just don't feel, I guess. But when it's my BF, I feel really uncomfortable. Almost as if he shouldn't cry. This makes me look selfish, but I promise I'm not. I just want to know why I don't like it when my BF cries in front of me. I don't get the instinct to comfort him and make him feel better. IDK, what to do about this? It's making me feel really horrible.